Good morning, everybody. Good morning. Good morning. Good Friday morning. Friday. Let's see. Get that right. February the 11th. I got a couple of things in my mind I want to share with you. Look at these two stories here that just came across. And y'all know when I put up topics, I also tend to go into other things while I'm talking. However, I do have two main topics. And I hope all is well. Okay. And this is Rico the Opinionist. What's up? Or Rico Opinionated Rivers. This is my Facebook page. You also go to my YouTube channel, Rico the Opinionist. Instagram, Twitter, Rico the Opinionist. And in the spring, look forward to my my social work channel that I'm working on. It's called The People's Social Work, when I have mainly one-on-ones with brothers and talk about social work topics and advocacy and things like that. So anyway, let's get to it. First one I want to talk about, I read this story last night. Let's see. Let's go here. Dave Chappelle claps back after affordable housing debacle. This is an article that comes from the New York Post. Because all day yesterday, the social media was on fire, talking about Dave Chappelle, comedian Dave Chappelle allegedly said, "Hey, I don't want any affordable housing units built in my beautiful suburban community of Yellowstone." What is it called? Yellow Springs, Ohio. I guess that's where he has his farm and all of that. And so they was like, "What? Dave doesn't want affordable housing units built where he lives?" And so I came across this article here that talks about how he claps back at those allegations. And I saw the video where he was telling the city council, you know how they do snippets. If you don't go back and read the entire story on a lot of these clickbait articles, well, you'll just paint that picture. Let me tell y'all something. Clickbait works well for those who are too lazy or who refuse to go and read the story or do the research. And so they'll take it and run with it. And they're okay with it. It's cool. It's the truth. But actually, and here's the video right here when he was speaking to the city council. And I'll put the story from the New York Post in this description box so you can read yourself. I'll go through it. It says, Dave Chappelle responds, "I didn't kill affordable housing in Ohio." And all you have to do is just wait a minute. People will respond. It said, let's see. I'll try to read as much so it won't sound like I'm giving y'all a lecture this morning, but I want it to be right. If I have to read the whole article, y'all give me a minute. Let me put on my morning glasses here, my readers. This one, I have like 2 or 3 of these. All right. It says, comedian Dave Chappelle found himself in hot water once again Monday night after he was seen opposing an affordable housing project in Yellow Springs, Ohio. Chappelle, 48, addressed the town council and threatened to pull his money from the community if they approved plans to develop 53 acres of residential housing. The town voted on the plan Wednesday after the council meeting, where the public was invited to comment on the proposal. Now, Chappelle is clearing up some things. Whoops. Come on, y'all, don't do this. Let's see. Hold on one minute. He's cleared up some things. His reps didn't respond to the Post request for comment, but in a statement to Fox News, his spokeswoman, Carla Sims, said the plan itself needed improvements. Dave Chappelle didn't kill affordable housing, Sims said. Concerned residents and a responding village council killed a half-baked plan which never actually offered affordable housing. In a viral clip, Dave Chappelle, who lives in the town, can be heard calling the local politicians clowns. That's true, I saw that. He told the council in no uncertain terms that he would pull his own business ventures, a planned restaurant and a comedy club called the Firehouse Eatery, out of Yellow Springs. He said, "I don't know why." Okay. I don't know why the council would be afraid of litigation from a $24 million a year company while it's out a $65 million a year company. Chappelle told the Yellow Springs Village Council, "I cannot believe you would make me audition for you." After Chappelle and the other residents railed against the proposal, the Ohio Village only approved part of development and rejected a part of the plan that included affordable housing. Now, let's see what it covered. People went against him. He said, let's see, neither Dave nor his neighbors are against affordable housing. This is Sam speaking, his spokeswoman. They're against the poorly vetted cookie-cutter sprawl-style development deal, which has little regard for the community, culture, and infrastructure of the village, Sims added. The whole development deal, cloaked as an affordable housing plan, is anything but affordable. 3 out of the 143 lots would have been for future affordable housing. Just 3. So they tried to pull a fast one under the guise of affordable housing. Okay, the rest of the homes were to be priced between $250,000 and upwards to $600,000. In Yellow Springs and in many other places, that is not considered affordable housing. Instead, it's what's called an accelerant to the homogenization of Yellow Springs, meaning trying to keep it all white. Yeah, you put the prices up, you kind of price a lot of people out. According to the Dayton Daily News, I guess Dayton, Ohio, the proposed development involved more than 100 single-family homes with prices ranging from $250,000 to $600,000. A second option would involve 64 single-family homes, 52 duplexes, and 24 townhomes with 1.75 acres set aside for affordable housing to be built at a later date. It's only 3 damn houses on that small lot. In the rush for approval, they limited their outreach and failed to engage the community at large in the input process, he wrote. Additionally, the developer's product and generic approach to building does not allow for the flexibility to address particular needs of our village. Perhaps public meetings, design creativity, and a willingness to listen will provide them with valuable insights for how to get it right in Yellow Springs. Okay. So, in actuality, Dave Chappelle was not rejecting affordable housing. He was just saying, look, y'all think y'all slick. Y'all trying to build these luxury homes, these luxury houses, probably getting tax write-offs and tax breaks under the umbrella of affordable housing. Only 3 houses would actually have been affordable, while the others would have been $250,000 to $600,000 in that community. And people do that all the time. Y'all know that. It's called gentrification, but I don't think Yellowstone need to be gentrified. It's already probably really upper echelon folks, and a lot of us don't have that kind of Dave Chappelle money. So Dave and his non-black family are the only ones there, considered, I guess, people of color in Yellow Village, Ohio. But I want to say this about affordable housing, period. Now, again, I'm not sitting here acting like I was born with a silver spoon. I was not. I'm not better than anybody, but look, I think we need to be honest. Look around in these cities where they put all these affordable homes. And they mention the word single-family units. And you know damn well those $250,000, $600,000 homes are not going to be single-family. Does single-family mean one head of household? And single mothers, for the most part, can't afford a $250,000, $600,000 house. They have children. And it's interesting the way they have these grants and these proposals from these corporations and nonprofits when they say we need to build affordable housing. They never build these houses or these housing communities or units with men involved. They always set the plan up to try to, I guess, pull the wool over the state or local government eyes to get those tax dollars to help fund their profitable ventures, real estate ventures, affordable housing. And so they put in, and around our community, in some apartment, a lot of apartment complex, they put in single mothers with children. They never put in families. They always write these grants with single mothers involved. And that has been one of the ruins of our community. I don't give a damn about how, because there are a large number of single mothers. What does that have to do with anything? If we're interested in saving the black family, we'll start acting like it. We'll start thinking like it. We'll start putting forth measures that means we want to promote families. How come the family units aren't for family housing units instead of single family units? Because it is a brand, it is profitable to push single motherhood in the black community and other communities. In America, really. But our community suffers the worst when they push this brand and women line up to go along with this propaganda. They have no problem with being just them in a 4-bedroom and 5 kids or 3 kids or 2 kids with no man, no actual named father to these children. And we don't think that has a psychological and emotional effect on how children are raised. Go to these neighborhoods where where most of the crime comes from. And the very men that women complain about, they come from these communities, single mother-headed households. I know a lot of you get offended because single motherhood has become the norm in the black community. And if I lived in a neighborhood, $250,000, $400,000 homes, I wouldn't want a single family unit built anywhere near my property because it'll bring the property value down. Now, do I think that there are single mothers in today's time who she can be a single mom of 1 or 2 children, keep the property clean, keep her house clean, keep the outside of the home maintained, have the children behaved? I truly believe that that's capable. It's almost like if it was 10 families, maybe 3 of them would actually be appropriate to live, in my opinion, in a single family unit dwelling. But y'all know the rest of them, the hooligans. They're the ones who tear up apartments. They're the ones who tear up neighborhoods when you bring in these single mothers. Because you know what single mothers bring? They bring boyfriends or in-house penis or drive-by penis. And a lot of those penises come in sagging pants, tattoos on their necks, bumping murder rap music. And also, his other baby mother's drama to your neighborhood. Rico, you stereotyping single mothers. No, I'm not. If you live anywhere near the hood, you know exactly what I'm talking about. You're in fucking denial and need to cut it out. See, we can talk about racism all day long. We can talk about redlining districts, gerrymandering, voting districts. We can talk about all of that stuff that seem to be issues that kind of prohibit the growth or inhibit the growth of the black community. But we won't talk about the morality. That is the stuff that keeps us going backwards or keep us in a stalemate as it relates to society. And we absolutely refuse to politically, publicly, economically address single motherhood. It is a mindset. It is a mindset. It is a mindset that determines whether you stand still or you move forward. That is in anything. Whether you're applying for a job, your mindset will determine, your preparation will determine if you'll get the job. Whether you're trying to complete a college degree, it's a mindset in order to go to college and be successful in college. And also, it's a mindset to live in a ragged, crime-infested, dumbass, abandoned building-ass community. It's a mindset. Our people been traumatized. Yeah, but we've been here 400 years. They're still killing our people. Yeah, they are and we are. I get that. So, but single motherhood is something that absolutely can be controlled. So let's start with that before we try to always tackle this huge, broad issue of racism. Because until we decide to leave here, either move out of America or go and commit suicide, this is going to continue. So we're not going to properly vet and address single motherhood. And please spare me any conversation. What about the men? Men don't get pregnant. Again, for those of you who flunked 8th grade biology, I was paying attention in class. Men don't get pregnant. I don't care if you're a gay dude receiving a man's excrement in your body. You still don't get pregnant because prostate is not an ovary. It's not ovaries. Do you understand? It's not a uterus. And also I learned in 8th grade biology, in that thick biology book that had that gecko holding on the leaf like that. It's called Through Lifespans or something like that, that book. It's like, it says on page 243, it says, man gives his semen and the female receives. Y'all know receives mean what it implies? Somebody volunteered. Women have to volunteer to open their legs. Teenage girls, Christopher, yeah, they have to volunteer to open their legs. They have to volunteer to let him go inside of her bra. They have to volunteer to carry the baby. They have to volunteer to deliver it. They make choices. So when we get to this fact or these facts, then we'll be able to move forward in our race and our community. And the hood won't be the hood anymore. Did y'all know before crack we had a community? Well, crack killed the neighborhood. No, the love of money and the lack of racial love is what killed. Because see, I grew up in the crack era. I was there. I remember one summer in the junior high school, and even before then, we were playing Captain Mayi and playing football in the street. Then that next summer, all I know was cars coming to my neighborhood that I had never seen before. All of a sudden, these strange people start walking past the street. No, shout out to North Memphis, Hollywood, Springdale. You hear me? And so, it's just amazing how we just refuse to attack this. Did y'all know? Do y'all remember that story in Knoxville, Tennessee? I think in Nashville and Knoxville, 2 or 3 dudes got 46 women pregnant. How is that possible? And then for those of you who say, well, he needs to zip it up. He needs to wear a condom. He ain't got to wear nothing. How did 2 men get 46 women pregnant or have 46 children or something like that? How did they get all that? How did they get that accomplished? Well, women have to volunteer for that. And see, and you fellas right here want to look tough and try to make the women think that you're doing the manly thing by attacking the men. A man can walk around with his tallywhacker, walking around all day long. But if legs are closed or she doesn't make a choice to give him none, it can't happen. And that's all I'll keep saying, because everything else, we try to give these elongated excuses and proclamations and declarations about how single motherhood comes about. But also single motherhood is funded. There's an initiative, there's motivation to do it. It's called food stamps, child support, welfare checks, free child care, pats on the back, normalization. Thank you, Christopher Avant. Normalization of single motherhood. We've lost our moral fiber. Until we get our moral fiber back and most importantly, start respecting black children, the chaos will continue. You understand? So I understand what Dave Chappelle is talking about. If I lived in a beautiful neighborhood, you think I want them to go and build some apartments or duplexes near me? What I know is going to happen? There's going to be a bunch of single mothers moving in there. She's going to bring her probably little bastard sons and little heifified little daughters. The sons going to run around and start getting into stuff outside of the apartments. They're going to notice this beautiful neighborhood about half a mile up the way from them. And they're going to start venturing out. Not always, but this is how it happens. Look around your black neighborhoods. Just look around. Look around. See, yeah, I saw, Chris, I read the article. What I'm saying. And Chris was reading it, yeah, but they tried to fool like it was gonna be more than that. So that's how they're gonna try to get the act pushed by using affordable housing to get that plan pushed through. And I guess Dave wanted more, but anyway, my thing is let's take that off the table. Because in my hometown of Memphis, even in Dallas, they're doing this thing. They're putting these, I guess, affordable housing, but you're moving the same people back into these new housing units. See, it's a mindset. If y'all are from Memphis, Tennessee, go up to Goodwill Village off of Peary's in Hollywood. It's called something else now, but I always know it as Goodwill Village. WDIA Goodwill Village. Then it became Goodwill Village. Now it's something else. They remodeled those apartments, right? But they put the same mindset back in those apartments. So they've gone back to, even though it's remodeled units, but they still have the same modeled mindset in those damn apartments. It's ridiculous. So when are we going to get to the people, either by music, by mail, and putting stuff in the mailbox to them, or go door to door and say, hey, stop being a nigga, please. Mentally. It's not required. Please stop being the N-word. Stop. And we have to do this. Well, everybody always wants you to get focused on who's running for president and all of this stuff, but I need y'all to pay attention to your local politics, though. You know, what Trump is racist and Biden is, there's silence on Biden. What we have to do, if we're really concerned about the hood, we have to go there and say and pass out. I used to do newsletters in college, and I would say that would work great. Just like how they're able to, when they're running for office, they're able to send out these mailers to your mailbox all the time. Say, hey, I'm running for office. Vote for me. You know, we should be able to send letters out to all of the people living in the inner city or anywhere with this bad neighborhood and say, hey, you know, it would help if you would maybe read this book or read this article or get in the practice of stop thinking hood. Because your outlook is based on how you think. You know, if you think hood, well, your outlook is going to be hood. We have to act like we're part of this country and stop allowing ourselves to be put in these. Now, if you're going to be in a good section of the country, at least let it be a good section. Don't let nobody put you in the dumps, the dumps of America, and you stay there. Well, you know, it's hard to get out of here. Man, folks be trying to get out, but hell, it's hard to do, folks. Police, it's 2022. You have access to iPhones. Some of you brag about having iPhone, what's that, Pro 13? But you live in a project. Why? Mindset. You have access to all sorts of social media. Can get you out of your situation. No, other than selling dope and ladies selling you behind or stripping. It's 2022. Why are we still scrapping for scraps? With all of these libraries, all of these colleges, universities, Sylvain, that can help you learn how to read. But we're rather for the government to give affordable housing to single mothers. I don't have a problem with single mothers as long as there's an appropriate father there, preferably a husband. A husband. And we want to see our families together. That's our power base. Husband, wife, children. Why is there such an offensive thing to say to black Americans? Husband. Husband. What's wrong with you young ladies? Y'all rather struggle with a baby or babies and and set yourselves up to become dumpsters, because nobody, when they have good mental health and high self-esteem, no man who has an education, who has high self-esteem, and who has good mental health is seriously dating a woman with children. So why aren't you in a position to get pregnant by the man who said, I do to you? And you say, well, Rico, the men have to ask the women to marry them. You are correct. So ladies, you will think that you'll teach your daughters, get yourself in a position where a man can ask you to marry him. You can't thought it out all through your 20s, and then you become this dragging, sagging, emotionally bogged down meanie at 33, 32, 30, 35. I want God to send me a husband. No, no, no. Men are waking up. They're not accepting leftovers anymore. You're too old to be talking about you want a husband at 33, 34. I mean, your first time getting married at 33, 34. Even your first time having a baby at 35, 34, 36, and all that. Because when a lot of these chicks get to be 37, law degree, PhD, and they've never had a baby, they ain't going to be able to push but one out. That baby going to tear her old ass up at 36 or 37. Ooh, child, I can't go through that. So why don't you do like other groups of women do? They act like girls in high school. They act feminine girls in college. So when they get out of college at 22, 23, by 25 or 26, they're married. And by 32, they've had their last child. So now they've been their wife to a protector and provider. And doesn't mean he makes $150,000 either. Y'all see these Mexican dudes, they about 5'4", 5'5", 5'7", got his little wife with him and there's 6 kids and she pregnant with 1. How come y'all don't understand that? A lot of our women, too many have been made fools of by Gloria Steinem and her feminism. They accepted the deal from Lyndon Baines Johnson back in 68, 69. So a lot of them running around here looking crazy. Yeah, you got a big house. Yeah, you got a nice car. Yeah, you make damn near 6 figures or 6 figures. But you by yourself. You and those stinking, yelling, barking ass dogs. And I'm for one, I don't like pets at all. If you got a fish, you better clean the mother lover. Because if I have to, the fish tank, the water, and the rocks going in the goddamn trash. No, I don't do pets. When I see these fine, attractive women walking with dogs, I casually walk past them. I'm like, why are you even going to talk to her? You're not going to like her because pet owners are can kind of be retarded, especially the women. Well, if you don't like my dog, you don't like me. You right, bitch. I don't like neither one of you. I'm like that. I can't stand pets. I don't. If I wanted something to care for, I would have had a kid. Do you understand? If I want something to love me, what I do, I just call my mother, my brother, my sisters, my friends. I have people to love me. So I don't need to have no kid to love me. If I want to be inspired, I look in the mirror. I don't do like people have done for decades. Well, if it weren't for my little boy, I'd still be in the streets. If it weren't for my little girl, I still... You don't use your child for you to get better. You're supposed to already be made before you make the child. See how backwards people are? But I digress. I don't care for affordable housing either if it's just for single mothers. What about families? And we need to keep pushing it. And I don't give a damn about your individual stories about, well, I had my baby at 16 and 17. I struggled, but we made it. Now my son, he in college, my daughter on her way to... I don't give a damn. Your exception does not erase the rule. It's inappropriate. It's inappropriate. What y'all need to do is get back to God. Y'all do. You Christian folks, oh, y'all the worst. Y'all need to get yourselves together. See, I'm not a Christian. I'm not religious. But I believe and understand the purpose of the natural order things in nature. Y'all gotten away from your Bible. You gotten away from God and nature. That's all it is. We're just acting like a bunch of hedonistic Babylonian Sodom and Gomorrah jackasses around here. No, I'm not coming from a place of perfection. I do live in a glass house. Eureka, good morning, sweetheart. I do live in a glass house. A lot of rocks have been thrown. That's why I have a lot of Scotch tape. Because it shatters. But every time I tape up a hole or a shadow in my glass house, I come out still speaking what we need to hear. Or what needs to be said. You can hear it if you want to. So let me get to this second article. Y'all get my point? I'm not a huge fan of affordable housing because I know a lot of time it breeds crime. It does. Because there's a mindset. Black America has this weird ass hood criminality worshiping mindset. Single mother worshiping mindset. Thug TV shows and LGBT shows mindset. And it's weird. I just try to navigate my way through this thing, the best way I can. Next. I don't know if y'all checked out this morning. I don't know if that press conference happened yesterday, but I watched the press conference of a young man. Let me click over here so y'all can see. Let me so I can reach y'all. But Black FedEx Driver was in Brookhaven, Mississippi. Now, let me look up and see how far is that from Memphis. Let me see. Brookhaven, Dave Chappelle, Black FedEx. This is CNN topic. Did y'all hear about that story? Black FedEx worker in Brookhaven, Mississippi was chased down and shot at by a white father and a white son while he was trying to deliver packages. The case of, I guess he went into one house, held his FedEx uniform, but according to the press conference I watched, FedEx had rented a hearse truck, but he got out in his FedEx uniform with his little thing, delivering a package, and all of a sudden, when he pulled out of the driveway, the white truck of the dad was following him, and then they were telling him to stop. He's like, "What for?" It was 7 o'clock in the evening, so it's getting pretty dark at 7. You're not going to be in Mississippi at 7 o'clock at night these days. They ain't daylight saving time. No, I think they don't come till later on after Easter when the daytime's a little longer. That's right. So he was hauling ass, and the next thing you know, the son is in front of him talking some stop. He's like, hell no. He said he swerved around the son, and next thing you know, guy out. They're shooting a pistol. Shooting through the truck, hit some packages on the truck. And y'all check out the story. And people are akinning this to the Ahmaud Arbery thing. And we're hearing his side. And he has some serious lawyers too. I have to give it to him. Those brothers, man, are on their ass. And it appears that the two sons, the son and the father, the white son and white father who were doing the shooting and acting a fool, appear to be related to the assistant chief of police there. And everybody's pretty much playing games at this point. Go on Google Black FedEx Driver and get the whole story. You probably see the press conference as well. I'm not going to go through all of it, but he made some good points. The young man, 24 years old. His name is, what is his name? DeMonterio Gibson. And his mom was at the press conference, but I didn't see her father. And based on his name, I would be shocked if his father was even in the picture along. DeMonterio. That sounds like the mama or auntie named him. And fathers, that's another thing. Y'all need to be in y'all's children's lives, man. So y'all stop these women from giving these old weird-ass, girly, fruity, weird-ass names. DeMonterio. Nothing against him. But when you see him, I'll just say this. Luckily he spoke. I said, yeah, that's a young man. I'll just say that. Luckily when he spoke, you can tell it's a young man. But from looking at him, you're like, but yeah, anyway. 24 years old, appeared to be a very intelligent young brother, just trying to work. He said, Robert Lee's 4 hours outside of Memphis. Okay, got it. Thank you, Robert. Good morning. And so, yeah, and thank you for sending that to me, Robert Lee, by the way. I was about to give you the credit for that. Robert Lee sent that to me. And I checked out the whole press conference this morning. I think it's probably like 6 or 7 this morning. I was up looking at that thing. And I was reading the comments of the people, but I was really impressed with his attorneys. He has, I think, one attorney from Mississippi. This attorney is the president of the Black Bar Association of Judges across the country, and those two attorneys came from California, and they were dropping Thanos bombs on their ass. They did not come here to play at all. And I appreciated how they were saying. But when they was talking about what they going to do to these folks, do these people, all of a sudden the video will go out. When they was talking like this was going to happen, y'all get on y'all ass, blah, blah, and the video will go blank. And then it'll come back on when he was talking about something else. Then when the other attorney came on and said, we going to get on their ass, and then the video will go blank. Channel 3 News, y'all think y'all so slick, don't you? Y'all don't like to hear black men. You don't like to hear black men speak with that Thanos tone. We're not playing with y'all ass. Y'all like to hear black men talk like that. Y'all like these. I know y'all want one of these little soft, tight suit man, little bastard. We think it's it's racist. We're gonna try to do the best of our ability to make sure all parties they pay for the crime they committed. And let me tell you, so y'all like those kind of blacks, but these are real black dudes who spoke with that Thanos. If you don't know what that Thanos reference is, go check out the Avengers. But that Thanos, I like to see black men present themselves that way, even in cases like this, because we'll have some black folks, get up there and halfway like, well, we don't know if it was or not. It's it's hard to tell, but we just want justice, and we just want those brothers, they didn't come there to play at all. They were straightening their, as they say in Memphis, straightening their business up. You hear me? That's what they were doing. And I was glad to see these brothers up there doing their thing. The young man, as he continued to speak on the mic, I heard more of him. They all have that Mississippi's that fast, that what's called it, that kind of they speak really quickly in their speech. I think it's racist because why would I need to help you look for the cases? The police even had the young man to help them look for the bullet casings, and that really pissed the attorneys off. But I want to say this, because what kind of pisses me off a lot, these young black men out here. They can be raised in the suburbs and all this, but I don't understand why black families don't teach black children about the actual core of racism. They don't give them the books. I know a lot of blacks move to the suburbs and they have all this newness around them and create this bubble for their children, this protective casing of the suburbs and the high-end schools. They got whites, they got all this, and sometimes all whites, and they don't really understand their position here, particularly the black males. The black males, usually they're playing sports, and so white folks love it when you run and jump and dunking and catching. They love it when you're entertaining them, because they don't have to look at you as a real person, just as a form of entertainment when you're a black male. But if you're an actual brother with the swagger and you can take it or leave it, they see you there. That's a disagreeable Negro. And those are the black males that have the most problems in these integrated schools. The ones who just like, I ain't with anything in class. It's like and so when these types of things happen to these young men, they're literally shocked. And I know some of you who are multiculturalist blacks and integrationist blacks, y'all why do you have to bog them down with race? Because America's bogged down by race. The Constitution was written based on race. All these laws in these states were written by race, because when these laws were written, most of the times when they were written, we weren't even thought about as people. We were property. We were still the worker bees here, the forced labor. So I don't understand why just how Jews teach 5-year-old, 6-year-old, 14, 13-year-old Jews. Everyone's out to get them because they're Jewish, and they all have that arrogant, narcissistic, egomaniacal attitude. They listen to, so that sounds anti-Semitic. Wait a minute, you're preaching hate. They teach their kids that, and we don't arm our black boys like that. They're just running around here doing all kinds of shit, forgetting that they are masculine figures. So they try to soften themselves up and tan tight ass clothes and not working out, not hitting the weights. I mean, there's a lot of soft ass looking young men. And I think psychologically they do that in the form of protecting themselves, thinking it's going to protect them from the white aggressive racist. And it's not. You are a black male. You are the number one enemy to white supremacy. Not females, the male. And I don't understand why black boys aren't taught this day one. It's not carrying a heavy load. It's arming them and how they should present themselves, how they should be able to protect themselves. Because that was a hell of a lot of behavior that was done. Because I don't know. We don't teach our boys about legal gun ownership. We don't teach black boys karate or military moves or send them to the military. They're just sitting out here like sitting ducks. Just because they get to stick peanuts to a few white girls, a couple of Asians, and 4 biracials. All of a sudden, man, I ain't worried about that race shit, man. All right. And it always happens when the police pull up on your goofy ass. Now your feelings are hurt. I'm not saying that this is the case of DeMontario at all. What I'm saying is, we're going to have to bring some 80s pimping into these 2000 beyond boys. We're going to bring some 70s, 80s, early 90s flavor, some swagger, some pimping in these boys. They're a bunch of emotional, and I know why it's like this, because they didn't come up with fathers. They came out with sperm donors that their moms chose. Because these women aren't picking men to have babies by. They're picking do-boys off the street or some man who belongs to some other woman or women. They're not picking men to get pregnant by. They're picking do-boys and F-boys and thugs and criminals and emotionally lame-ass dudes. And so the boys grow up unprotected and without knowledge. If you're a single mother, the very least you can do is hand him a copy of Black Labor, White Wealth, Powernomics, some books by Franz Fanon, Black Mask, White Faces, Black Mask. Equip them with some Dr. John Henry Clark, or They Came Before Columbus, as well as a medical book and a law book. So they'll understand the assignment. Even if it's talking about music, get them the history of how music came about. A lot of black folks had to sacrifice and they suffered so we can act like this shit's not going on. That's the problem I have with all of this. Whenever I hear these situations with these black males and just white folks who are racist and cops who are rogue. I mean, man, and also, man, where y'all pistols at? Damn. Because if we were some real, where they want to paint us, we were some real gorillas out here, it would have been a visit paid to those people's houses that night. If he was a real one, that DeMontario brother said, man, I tell y'all what, you bitches gonna shoot at me, and I know y'all address. He should have got about 2-3 carloads of motherfuckers and came back. You bitches want to do this and straighten this business up. That's the kind of energy black males need to have. Because you know you don't call the police, it's going to be some bullshit. That's what I'm saying. Because there's some black dudes that white folks don't mess with. I don't have that kind of interaction. Because I don't give off that multicultural integrationist energy. I'm cool, whoever's cool with me. If you talk nice to me, I talk nice to you. But if you got an energy about you, that energy already coming from my body. That's how I roll. I've been in multicultural clubs, partying my ass off, I had no problem. Had to get a white girl straight told one time because she thought you know how they walk in the club and the white girls come. This is maybe in the early 2000s, whenever I was in the clubs in Memphis, and they'll grab you, push by you, grab your arm to push by. I start to ho. If you put your hands on me one more time, you're gonna be getting up off the floor. Because I think that's rude. Even when dudes put their hands on your shoulder to push by, don't put your fucking hands on me to push by. Say excuse me. Like I do. I don't have to touch nobody to get past nobody. Did y'all know that? I don't like that either. Don't touch me to get past me. Excuse me, Chief. I'm not a Native American. Don't fucking call me Chief. That's whoever it is. It doesn't even matter the race. But especially when the white guys do it, because I know they have that microaggression, that passive aggressive about them every time they step their punk asses, a lot of them out the door. So that's what we should be teaching black boys so they know how to carry themselves. Because I don't think nobody can stop me. If I lived in an apartment building, I paid $1,400 a month. I can almost promise y'all, can't nobody stop me at my door and ask me, you live here? And it's not be police called because I'm on top of them choking the shit out of them. Or she got a black eye, or he got the butt of my gun across his fucking head. Because what you're not going to do is harass me. If we're all supposed to be Americans. You understand? We need to teach our young men that swagger. Stop teaching them, keep your head down. All that. Well, I understand. If you get pulled over, you answer the question, give me ID insurance. I get that. But y'all are teaching y'all boys damn near to roll their shirt up in a knot and say, ooh, officer, I want to speed, officer. No, please, ooh, Lord, don't give me no ticket. That's how y'all damn near got your boys acting. Do you live in this neighborhood? Ooh, yes, I do. I live around here. I live right down there, 1313 Mockingbird Lane. That's how we got. No, you don't owe them nothing if we're Americans. You don't owe them anything. I know some of you not going to like this advice, because, you survived through so much. James Brown said something. I'd rather die standing up than live on my knees. We're going to have to put that in our boys, but make sure they're articulate and intelligent. So we have to give them books. If y'all want to copy my book list, find me other than the Bible. Matter of fact, I wouldn't give a son of mine the Bible at all. I wouldn't even give him the Quran. I give him books written by Malcolm X, written by Dr. John Henry Clark, books written by Amos Wilson, Dr. Amos Wilson. Yeah, I have him read so he can understand books written by Michael Porter, Kill Them Before They Grow, Dr. Juanza Kunjufu, Countering the Conspiracy to Destroy Black Boys. I give them books by the three doctors called The Pact. Books like that to inspire them, get into their maleness. Dr. Earl Ofari Hutchinson, I'll give him books like that about black leadership and all that. That's what I'll give them. And they can read other books and stuff, Shakespeare and things like that. But their foundation would be in their blackness and their madness in this society. We got too many tight jeans, skaterboard jeans, and, hey, it's not a problem, And then all of a sudden it hits you, no, he was racist. While you got your white girl on your arm. Cut it out. Y'all look like clowns. How you going to yell racism when you got the white girl on your arm? Black lady, how you going to holler about racism when you laying up with a white man every night? Y'all know how silly that sounds? It sounds as silly as when Don Lemon says, the major terrorist in America is the white male, and he goes home and get his back beat out by a by a white man every night. Don Lemon said that silly shit on CNN. The major terrorist in America you have to look out for is the white male, or the angry white male, or the white male, right? And he goes home every night to get his back blown out by a white male. That's how stupid y'all sound. You multiculturalists, you diversity blacks, you integrationist blacks. But I digress. I just finished my last sip of my cup of coffee. I hope y'all enjoyed yours. Oh, yeah. Chris says, the ISIS Papers by Dr. Francis Cress Wilson and Brother Neely Fuller. But anyway, I digress. Y'all get the point? So I hope this brother continues to seek justice. And don't y'all think this qualifies for an anti-hate crime bill yet? The Asians got one after 2 weeks. Some white dude killed up some massage hookers, or chicks doing massages at a massage parlor, about 6 Asians, and they got it right away. 2 weeks before then, they showed, I guess, a Asian white lady getting her purse snatched and punched on by what appeared to be a black dude. It didn't look like a black dude, but all of a sudden it became a black thing. So they had to get an anti-Asian hate crime bill. So Ahmaud Arbery, George Floyd. Now luckily this young brother survived. So none of this 400 years of lynching and bombing and all that still doesn't equate to an anti-hate crime bill, anti-African-American hate crime bill. So Jim Crow Joe just not going to just do anything, huh? And you know what? Also, let me tell y'all, I'm going to end by saying this because these two groups of people get on my damn nerves. Number one, and of course in the comments of the section of the press conference, some Negro I'm going to say, this type of crime and all this emboldened white people. It started, when Trump was president. This brand of racism just rose up under Trump. And I had to correct him. No, mister. Racism didn't take a vacation until Trump got elected. Fool. White people acting a clown, or those who are emboldened, they've been like that all the time. Matter of fact, more black men got shot by cops and harassed by white folks during the Obama years. And this shit about, it emboldened them to be overtly. So you okay with covert racism, you silly sounding son of a basket weaver? So you don't mind the racism long as they don't show it to you out loud, but it's still kicking your ass silently and covert. Stupid. I thought we don't want racism at all. But as long as somebody white is not showing how racist they are, you okay. But they can be racist as long as you don't, as long as they don't show it to you in your face. It's dumb. And then another one that said, well, based on that, some chick with a last name B-A-Y, that community of Bay, y'all know that community of people, Bay, Salam Bay, and all that B-A-Y group. She's a member of that. Well, you know, our community. She said, well, I'm gonna read the quote. And she said, what about the blasting in my hoods? The blasting, and racism is, what she say? It's not, the police is not our problem. We have violence is our problem. I had to quickly correct her and say, no, violence is an American problem. You kill the cognitive dissonance. Your ignorance is a problem. And basically you're saying, what about the blasting in my hoods? Let you know that you live nowhere near a hood. See, these two groups of people get on my damn nerves. That wasn't even the subject of the press conference. But they always have to say, well, what about black on black crime? What the hell's that got to do with anything right now? We're not dealing with that. And so that's okay. You should say, what about white on white crime? What about Asian on Asian? They kill each other too. Y'all know that. But see, when you're the focal group that they want to keep oppressed in a sense, and the media keep your image oppressed, well, they only talk about what you do and not talk that much about what other groups do. To all the brilliant people out there. And Trump did not create racism. Racism was created from the very first president. First, they slaughtered all the Indians they could. Then, after they got tired of slaughtering Native Americans, the first 8 or 9 presidents, then they delved into slavery, American slavery with Africans. So y'all cut it out, please. Y'all save that. Just say, look, I don't want to be involved. And also, I was so happy that the young brother brought up mental health. He said, yeah, it's a lot of this going on. A lot of black males suffer from trauma and mental health issues. And I just did a flyer on my Rico the Opinionist group page that says, black men are allowed to get angry too, like everybody else. We really have to do a lot of work. And in closing, women, if y'all actually cared about our race and our community, instead of fighting for all the other stuff that don't matter, I'm independent, I'm strong, we need rights, you'll be trying to protect and raise your boys to be the men to protect your daughters. Instead, you push your daughters and you love your sons, and then when they grow up to be the men that are not capable of protecting and providing for your daughters. What these men at? They got mama issues. You are so right. They do. They was raised by their mama. Y'all enjoy the rest of your day and finish your coffee. I'm through with mine. We'll talk again in the future because I have a couple of topics I want to get into. I'll talk to y'all later.